Welcome back to Fancy Serial Note Friday. You're probably thinking, wow, that's something different that I haven't seen in a while. And you're probably thinking, man, Silver Surfer, you're a little late to the game. But I wanted to share this one as I had some morning obligations and now have some free time. So, with this being said, this is a February 17, 1776, a 2/3 dollar Continental currency. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom in here real close. The red print there is for serial number 499994. Yes, you read that backwards, 499994. That is a radar. That is a super radar. Super radars do not have to have 8 digits to be a super radar, guys. It can be a super radar as long as all the center digits are the same and the outer 2 digits are the same. So this actually qualifies as a super radar on a Continental piece. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So how did I acquire this? Well, I acquired it from my good friend Dustin Whitty. He and I have traded, sold, etc., one another, coins and currency for a good part of probably a year and a half, almost 2 years now. And he posted these notes a while ago on his channel before he got a few more subscribers. And I don't think they got enough views, to be honest with you. But I've always been interested in this note, buying it. And eventually I was able to offer him a fair price and get it pried from his fingertips. So thank you, Dustin. As we made our deal, this note will either stay in my or your collection for our lifetimes, and that is the truth. I've always wanted a Continental piece, guys, Continental currency. And especially the Fujio Continental currency, which is this right here. So I'm so thankful to be able to own one, and so thankful to be able to own such a high grade, a 40 extremely fine, which is problem free, and just a awesome piece. So you can zoom in here. It says 2/3 of a dollar, according to a revolution of Congress passed at Philadelphia, February 17, 1776, man, such the infancy of our country. And the coolest thing about this, well, there's multiple cool things about this, is that this is actually a Benjamin Franklin design. So one of our forefathers, guys, Mr. Benjamin Franklin, many of you know him, designed the Fujio note. This came out before the Fujio cent, believe it or not, which was in 1787. They adopted this design from it, and it is a symbol of a sundial, essentially. Fujio means I fly in Latin, and mind your business. So it's not like the mind your business as what we would think about in today's type of thing when you're pissed off at somebody and you say, hey man, mind your business. Mind your business during 1776 actually reflected upon like taking care of yourself and your business, right? And your obligations and stuff like that. That's what that actually referred to. So what the entire thing of the Fujio symbol meant was it has this sundial in the middle, which is the way that they told time essentially back then. One of the ways. The Fujio as I fly in Latin and mind your business. If you put those together, what basically this is saying is that time flies to mind your business. And so meaning take care of your stuff, take care of your obligations, especially as a new nation. And I just think that is so stinking fascinating to me. Another really neat feature is that you see these little dots in the four corners. Each of those represent, 1/6, I believe, of a dollar. And so, yeah, I believe it's 1/6. And my math could be wrong. Basically, it adds up to 2/3 of a dollar. So you'll see at each different denomination that there'll be a certain amount of respective dots there to equal the total amount of money that is. And so, again, guys, this was a currency that was printed, and I can't read the signature on it. I can't make the signature out. So if any of you guys out there know who signed that, Dustin and I both couldn't figure it out. I got to buy a book. There's a new Q. David Bowers book, I believe, on Continental currency coming out this summer that I'm actually going to purchase and see if I can track down who signed this sucker. But, yeah, and then on the bottom, it's got, there you go, the 2/3. So it's actually 2/ written in thirds, it looks like, of a dollar. And just some fancy kind of pattern work around the sides there. Just absolutely fascinating piece. Fascinating piece. And it says it again up there, 2/3 of a dollar at the top headline there. And so just a little bit of Continental currency. We're going to go ahead and flip this note for you guys and show you the backside of it. A little bit of Continental currency history was that our country didn't have a circulating type of money at this time for, say, that was the United States in our infancy. We had a number of colonial pieces beforehand in which each of the 13 colonies were printing money. And so we utilized that type of money for a long time, actually, until we formed the Continental Congress, and they decided that it was probably appropriate for us to print some money to, one, pay for the war expenses. And so that's essentially what we did, right? We formed the Continental Congress. We didn't have an actual mint at that time. We did not have a Bureau of Engraving and Printing at that time either. So these are printed by this two famous local printers here, which you can see at the bottom in Philadelphia by Hall and Sellers, and in 1776. And I think it was Sellers, I want to say. Maybe it was Hall. One of the two. You can look up that history. But one of the two eventually kind of moved on from the business, and Benjamin Franklin bought it over and continued on doing a lot of this and printing a lot of this stuff. But so just we made our own money once Continental Congress was formed, and it was thus dubbed Continental currency, which is this piece here. And that essentially continued throughout the war effort up until after the war to pay for all those expenses. These are all hand cut, guys. That's why the borders and stuff are uneven oftentimes. This wasn't done by machines. I forget the specific type of paper that it's printed on, so I apologize for that. But you can see the fibers and stuff when you zoom in here, the different types of fibers and all that jazz. But again, our main source of currency circulating that most Americans knew and trusted at this time was things like the British pound, or the British pound, the British currency, the Spanish reales, which was 8 pieces that equaled up to $1 essentially. And so those types of currency, the Dutch currency, was what we were familiar with. And so this kind of came along once we formed our country and declared independence, and a lot of people were kind of hesitant on it at first, etc., but they soon adopted it. The problem with this is that eventually, once the war, they knew that this was supposed to be backed basically by silver content amount, right? That they were able to pay via Spanish mill dollars or whatever the case is, but the government knew that was not going to be a possibility, really. There was just too much inflation going on during the war, and so hyperinflation thus ensued. And there was actually a phrase that was dubbed from this called "You're not worth a Continental," that was used for many, many years, that it's worthless, essentially, which was what happened. And the society lost interest, guys, in American government and their ability to pay debts, etc., for a long time. We didn't actually print money until 1861, which was obviously what happened then, the Civil War. And so similar situation that occurred during the American Revolution left a very sour taste in people's mouths for a long time, almost 100 years later, and until we started printing money again. And the same damn thing happened again in the Civil War. Hyperinflation, yada, 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 and the public lost interest again on paper money. So just kind of some interesting history. And last, I just want to talk about here, the backside is the chains. It's got 13 chains around it. And then it has American Congress in the center, and we are one, which is kind of where the E pluribus unum in Latin came out as well, which out of many comes one. Just fascinating, man. This design was adopted a lot on the Fujio cent as well. So I have to get a Fujio cent. I'm going to get a Fujio cent to kind of match this. I just think these would be fascinating pieces to have in, even on a mantle or something, or a bookshelf right next to one another. Just such old amount of history. So that's what I got for you guys on Fancy Friday. I hope you enjoyed. I've been wanting to share this note for a very long time. Dustin, thanks, dude. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to cherish this one for a long time. These, to even find Continental pieces in high grade like this, the Fujio ones are few and far between. And to find it as a super radar is just fascinating. So hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, Silver Surfer out.